what that means, like how to apply it. So they come up with a version of it for themselves, like, okay, I understand what I need to do, and maybe this is the thing that does it. And they try, and if that makes them like, okay, oh my God, I feel really good about myself. This is great. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, they just have to find those lessons and teach themselves. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for teaching somebody or something along those lines. I'm just saying, when it comes to addiction, it's look. I have so many, like, all of my best friends are in recovery in some way, shape, or form. In fact, Drew, who was on our show, 3 weeks ago or so, like, he is somebody who sponsors a number of people who are going through addiction and is very, very knowledgeable. I wish he was on this show right now. But one of the things is that these people that I know who sponsor these other people, I mean, they have people who they are helping and that they get close to and everything. And there's probably at least 4 people who drop dead on them in a year. My best friend Hip, he's just constantly people that he's close to that were involved in recovery in some way, shape, or form relapse, and they die in some way, shape, or form, and it's sad. But the thing is that too, like, when
you sound like a very good sponsor.
Well, it's not anything like that. It's that you gotta let people do what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And that people reach out. Yeah, people reach out to you. It's not your job to go try to find this person or go try to save them or whatever. But it's the person that comes to you asking, calls you, and I mean there are ways that you can be there for somebody without enabling them. There are ways that you can do that. You can be somebody that they call when they feel like they want to use, that can talk them from using and remind them what they need to do. But there is tried and true ways that people do recover, and it's a hard road.
It's a conscious decision, though, those people have to make for themselves. They make that decision that gets them through it. And you get the other ones that want to. They know they should. They've got reason to. But whatever it is that's harming them, the alcohol or drugs, that feels better for that moment. And then once that moment passes, now they feel guilt. And now that guilt is, oh, man, I'm a piece of shit. I said I wasn't going to use. I let these people down. Now I'm supposed to be here, whatever. And now they start sliding back because they want to feel good again. And then that cycle repeats, and that cycle repeats. And if they're lucky enough to reach out to their counselor before it gets too late and they die, it's something that they can't, because they want, you can try and teach them how to love themselves. But the addiction is so much stronger, and the guilt that comes from that addiction, because they've let people down, they've let themselves down, and now they're back into that cycle of, I'm a piece of shit. Well, if you're calling yourself a piece of shit, you don't love yourself. Even though you've given them all the tools, all the examples, they know it's all there, it's right in front of them on the table. They've just got to reach out, stay with it no matter what, but the drugs keep pulling it back in, and they can't help it. And they'll keep, it's just it's a sick, twisted thing that, just takes over the mind and body. And, you see them go through the shakes and sweats and everything else, trying to quit. And you want everything to stop it for them, stop the pain. You almost want to say, here, take it. So you stop this madness. So,
right.
It's you can give them all the tools and examples, but that doesn't mean that they're going to make that decision to accept it in full.
I think that's her biggest fear. That's the thing that she's most afraid of with her and I, is that she just won't be able to do it, or that it'll happen again. And that's the thing that she's like most, that's the biggest motivation as of now. What it feels like is like I'm so afraid that I'm going to do it again that I want to really give it a real, like I want to change this. Like I'm broken, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I just can't live this way. I can't. It's not me. It's not what I want to be. It's not what I ever chose. Like it just ended up happening, and now I'm here in this situation, and I want so hard. I just, like I want to be that. I do. And I don't know the way to get there, and I don't know if I'm going to be perfect, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but, like, I want to try. I want to try it so hard because this shit means something to me, and, like, that's real. That's, like, a thing that, that is a growth and a step in the right direction and a thing that needs to be acknowledged and respected.
Yeah, no, good, absolutely, and I don't think anybody would discount that. But there is a way forward, and it's the 12 steps through Narcotics Anonymous. I mean, there is something to be said about the. Now I've said this as somebody who's not an addict, who's had friends who've gone through NA, and there's just been. It's a way to live life. It's a way everybody should live life, really. And when you actually go through the 12 steps and look at it, where you're actually taking this self-inventory of righting wrongs and taking certain steps to get to the point to where you can beat something day in and day out, because it's a daily struggle. It's an hourly struggle. And that's where I'm talking about, is there a commitment to, if I say I'm David's girlfriend, and is there a commitment that I'm going to commit to work in a program, and that being on my mind day in and day out, every single hour, making sure I'm working this program. That way, each day, I'm a little bit more free, and I'm recovering a little bit more, to the point that it becomes a little bit easier day in and day out to not want to use. Because once somebody gets to a certain point in addiction, there's always, it gets easier over time and over years and stuff, but there's always that possibility. And what I'm saying is, does she, on top of the amount of work that's going to be put on that, does she also need to juggle this relationship with you? And that's just an honest question. And how much of that, we've talked a little bit about ego and stuff, but how much of your own ego is in this, to where it would be like, to where you're saying that, like, oh, well, I'm going to help her. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show her this, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to love her in this way, shape, or form. And that's it. But how much of your own ego is in here to where you love her and you want this person? But how much of your own ego, if somebody was to come up to you and was to say, like, and I'm not saying it's the case, but if somebody was to say to you, like, look, you are not helping and you can't help her until she has quite a few months, maybe even a year, where she is just not relapsing, working a program and things like that. What part does your ego play in that, to where would you be able to be okay with that?
I mean, I have been okay with it. I'm sure. I mean, obviously, there has to be some sort of ego in it. Maybe I don't understand what it is, but I in the same way that I need her too. There's just, I can't. I have no interest in any way, shape, or form of even wanting another sort of relationship or life outside of it. Like, I can't it makes me sick. Like, and I've had sex with girls and things like that since we've been apart, and like I was, it's hard to explain. Like I didn't want to have sex with them. Like it made me feel guilt. It was like I was doing the same thing just with a different kind of drug. Like, oh my God, this is not how I feel in my soul, and my heart hurts. I don't want to be with this girl. Like, it just making me upset and sad and guilty. Like, I don't love them. All I can think about is somebody else, and it's...
Okay, let me ask you a question. So, now, this is what I hear, and now, I guess, what are your names again? I'm sorry. That's why I got to address you by name.
My name is David.
David, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, David,
and I'm Bo.
Okay, Bo. Okay, so now Bo would know better, but I'm of the understanding that, once a person does go through the 12 steps program and they're doing their thing, that the person that they were with, let's say they had a significant other before they had entered that program and were working it, once they get out of it, as far as the program, they've completed it, they look at the relationship different as a crutch that they want to get rid of now because it was a part of that nightmare that they had just gotten rid of. And not that you're the nightmare or anybody else is the nightmare, but basically you were in the nightmare or the person's in the nightmare, and so they want to move on now. They love themselves. They have a brighter outlook. They've got goals. They have purpose. And it's not that they may not love you anymore, but it's a part of what they had to let go of, part of that program of reconciling with themselves to be who they are now. Would you be able to let go if she came to you and said, I thank you for everything that you've done for me. I don't want you to think I didn't appreciate it, but I just don't feel the same way that I did before.
So, that's a very valid point. And the answer to that is, out of respect for her, yes, but inside of my own soul, no. I'd rather be alone after that. I'd rather just be alone, and whatever version of me that's happy and has come to terms with it and everything else, I'm not going to be able to love someone else. I'm not. I know what it feels like, and I have no even really like desire to feel that again if it's not with her. I don't, and I'm like right. Okay with that, and it doesn't make me upset, and it doesn't make me like, weary about it, like, oh man, now I gotta live my life alone. She doesn't love me, and this stuff. Like that doesn't hurt me. I understand. Like I cannot discount and sit there and say that this isn't the person that I love. I can't say it because it's not true.
Sure.
It's not true. You know what I mean?
The question was basically, do you love her enough to let her go? If that were the case, where she did everything that I just mentioned a moment ago, and the question or the answer was yes. So you answered it.
Yeah. And I have let her go. I let her go 18 months ago, and and for the most part, she did everything that she needed to do, and it turned out it's even worse than it was before. And the brightest, best parts of the recovery that she had and the things that she was doing was us. Like, that was the thing that, and it may have ended up ending, and it may have been like that guilt of losing this relationship, and the things that she let go was the fuel that kept that going. Like, was the, like, oh, I got, now I have ammo for months to use because I feel so guilty about this. Like, and then instead of just getting past, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? But
yeah,
like I said,
hypothetical,
Yeah, like it's just about, it's worth it. It's worth it to do this. Like I said, even if that's the case where it's, I think there are a lot of other things, and she has tried to keep me very, very much out of that life. She doesn't want me to have anything to do with it. She's never used me. She's never taken money from me. She's never, like even I would send her money willingly. I would send her $100, $50.